So I've just watched a new scary movie. Well, scary movie, and that rhymes. And I thought it was like, okay, very solid stuff, really good laughs here and there, but I feel like the execution on maybe a handful of jokes is a little bit awkward, it's a bit heavy-handed, particularly on like more modern stuff like woke culture and cancel culture, Me Too culture, and the culture, and the culture about Kendrick Lamar and Drake, beef culture. I think it definitely did have like a very strong, very confident start to it. Then as the movie progresses, the jokes somewhat come off a little bit more heavy-handed, which is something I last said probably some time ago. But there are definitely some really funny stuff. Like it's good to see the gang back together, particularly with the Wayne brothers are of course back again. Anna Faris is back as well, and Regina King is also back as well. Like pretty much the whole crew is back after like 20 years or so. And of course, it definitely has quite a lot of laughs. Like, I think there was one moment in the film where I laughed so hard I almost fell off my seat. As in, there was that one scene where one of the characters just smoked so much weed that he becomes high from. There was a scene after the get out scene, the sink to the floor scene, and when he sunk into his subconsciousness, he enters the realm of K-pop demon hunters and pretty much smokes weed with them and has sex. As in, yep, if you've not heard of Scary Movie, this is that type of movie. And also, yeah, the opening scene where Ghostface gets busted in New York after unsuccessfully ambushing one of the actresses. And of course, some of the gags I wish went on for a little bit longer. Maybe something like weapons, particularly with kids doing that famous pose running down the streets and one gets ran over and just catapults across the street. I wish I did joke about Aunt Gladys or something, but I feel like definitely some really good ideas here and there, particularly like in Weapon, particularly like Sinners as well, with the Irish singers in it as well. But again, I feel like some parodies I wish they could do a little bit more in that area, but I'm a little bit happy to see the crew back together. I think one of the more bizarrely not well executed jokes in the movie is essentially seeing one of the main characters finally get down with one of the more sexually charged female characters in the movie, and it ends with seeing her very hairy vagina. So that is that type of movie. What definitely are some welcome additions in this movie is that we get to see Doofy back again, even though he was the Ghostface killer in the first one, and he was also kept living in fear of COVID-19, even though it's been dormant for like a few years now, and also that he was in the January 6th riot. So it was definitely a very interesting way to see him come back to the fold again. There's also Tuesday, who's basically the parody of Wednesday Addams from the Wednesday series. Again, it's definitely a really great fun joke until I feel like by the end of it, I kind of grew a little bit tired of it. Like, okay, yes, we know it's Tuesday, not Wednesday, due to copyright reasons. I feel like it's kind of run its course a little with that joke, but there are definitely quite a lot of jokes that I definitely did really enjoy out of this movie. Like I said, the K-pop Demon Hunters homage, you would say like that. And of course, the Sinners and the Weapons homage, which they definitely do pay a lot of tribute to. And also, the subway scene from one of the Scream movies is also gets a nod, which is did remind me a lot of that scene from Airplane where if you know, it's basically a woman gets shaken and slapped by every passenger on a plane. Imagine that, but with knives, and it's in the subway train in New York, which is again, although it's again like respecting your parody elders, which is again a really good way to go forward with that comedy. There are some points in the movie where I like, okay, what was the point of that? Where there was a parody of the Substance movie, and the news anchor's younger self was essentially the white chicks from White Chicks, and they get killed off already. So I felt like, okay, well, that's the end of that. I wish they could have gone forward with that, like, I don't know, like in the Spider-Verse films where, I mean, one of the Spider-Man films where all the Spider-Mans come together to fight all the big bads, kind of like that, but I kind of wish they kind of were committed to that joke a little bit longer, but it is what it is. Although this is a more of a internet culture parody, as there are quite a lot of jokes about 6ix7ine, and there's some jokes about Kai Sente, which somewhat go over my head since I don't watch a lot of his content. But again, this is a
would just say not as necessarily a retread, nor of a what to expect from these scary movies. Of course, it's definitely more of a legacy sequel, as in it definitely had some laughs here and there. Definitely, although there are some jokes where the execution is a little bit too weird, a little bit too experimental, but all in all, I did find some enjoyment in this movie, even if the jokes, some of them didn't quite land as well as it thinks it did, or maybe a little bit too out of my taste, like streamer jokes or 6-7 jokes, but maybe some jokes about the K-pop demon hunters, and of course jokes about John Wick, and maybe some jokes about the internet culture like Me Too and trans people. They definitely did warrant a chuckle out of me, so even though it's definitely not the strongest film that come out this year, let alone the best comedy out this year so far. So for my take, I'm feeling 6 or 7 out of 10 on this one. So what do you think of Scary Movie 6 or 7? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads, and Letterboxd. This is Light Rolls, and bye.